It was the first light of morning. A quiet hush hung over the forest, and the gentle chirping of birds awakened the stillness. Beneath the sheltering limbs of the elder tree, Milo and Mila lay curled together, wrapped in woven shawls, resting in the kind presence that only comes after many shared silences. Without words, they rose, lighting a small fire and steeping a pot of morning tea. The sun touched the treetops. A small loaf of rustic bread was shared between them as they sat just outside their dwelling, savoring the hush.
I remembered something strange this morning, the first time we met.
Milo looked at Mila and said, "Funny you say that. I dreamt of it last night." Milo's eyes grew reflective, gazing into the firelight as the memory arose in both of them. It was a moment long past, yet still alive. In the warm corner of an old tea shop, surrounded by the hum of quiet conversations and clinking cups, Mila had quietly slipped into the seat beside Milo. For a long time they said nothing. Finally she spoke.
It's loud in here, isn't it?
Even without shouting.
Sometimes I think the loudest thing in the room is what no one wants to hear.
Back at the elder tree, they sipped their tea in reverent silence. Finally, Milo spoke up. That was the moment. I knew we shared something. But it wasn't in words, but in vibration.
Yes, I know what you mean. I tried to write it into poems, but nothing ever captured it.
Maybe there is a word for it, not one we've ever heard before.
Then let's go listen.
And so they did. Without speaking, Milo walked east into the mossy woods, and Mila headed west toward the cool stream. The forest held them both like a sacred book, waiting to be read. Milo placed his hands on an old tree and breathed with the wind. Mila dipped her fingers into the stream, listening for something older than language. Each one sat in stillness and open to the living current of life. What is the sound of recognition? Milo thought. The one that comes before any name. Mila said,
How do you touch the sacred without grasping?
When twilight came and the two companions returned to the elder tree, they said nothing. But as they sat down, their breath moved into harmony, a quiet rhythm between them. Mila whispered,
I kept hearing the sound. Yalvona.
Yal. Vona. And together they said,
Yalvona.
A long exhale followed. Something old and unnamed had been spoken into being, not invented, but remembered. It lingered in the air like the last note of a sacred bell. They did not speak after that. They didn't need to. The stars slowly emerged above them as they leaned into the night. Yalvona, the light that rises in solitude, when two silences recognize each other, a tone without words, a breath released in the presence of what can never be recreated. And in that moment, under the silent sky, Milo and Mila knew they had arrived, not at a place, but at a knowing, one they would carry with them forever. Yalvona is not a word you will ever find in any dictionary. It is a breath, not spoken but felt. It is a hush that rises in moments of deep stillness, when presence becomes more real than thought. It appears not with effort, but with surrender, like light touching the petals of a wildflower no one planted. To recognize Yalvona is to feel the resonance of something timeless. It may come while sitting alone beside a stream, or in the silent company of someone whose soul meets yours without ever needing to speak. It does not seek attention, it waits quietly to be noticed. Yalvona lives in the spaces between words, between actions, between you and the world when no division is felt. To cultivate Yalvona is to make space for stillness and to honor simplicity and to let go of urgency. It is not a thing to grasp, but a tone to dwell within. And in doing so, we find a kind of nourishment the world cannot give, because it comes from what is always here. So let your breath slow. Let your eyes soften and listen. You may already be inside it. This is Yalvona, the light that rises in solitude.